Hello, hello, and this is Tonya. Welcome back to Nurses Speak. And so I'm just gonna jump right into it today, because I had a thought running through my mind after reading some different articles and just looking at things trending in the news with nurses quitting. Of course, there's new nurses joining the workforce every day, but a lot of veteran nurses are leaving. Uh, Either through retirement or some other sort of attrition, transitioning into other areas, finding their niche outside of acute care, away from the bedside. And that seems to be the growing trend, right? To get away from the bedside, to climb the corporate ladder, and to delve into advanced practice. Anything but that dreaded nurse who has to have that daily encounter with the patients and with the public, and a toxic, perhaps toxic administration that exists in so many acute care or even long term care facility environments that nurses find themselves in. And so, it seems like with great speed and determination, a lot of nurses are looking to get as far away from the bedside type of nursing, and even looking for ways to say, hey, I don't need that experience to be successful as a nurse. And I know that when I came up in nursing, and we're talking about a good 30 plus years ago, let's say, that was the um, the preferred path. You graduate from nursing school, you get your couple of years of med surge experience, and you go on from there. However, in times of what was determined to be nursing shortage, you might not be a med surge nurse. You might go straight into emergency room or straight into critical care or labor and delivery or some other specialty where there was a high demand or difficult to fill positions, and there would be experienced veteran nurses there to help you, to mentor you, to train you, to be preceptors, right? And to help new nurses get acclimated to their role in a specialty practice. But as we find that, there's less and less of those opportunities, and hospitals are closing all over the country, and those that are remain open, a lot of times they're closing off their emergency room, so they may be transitioning into some type of urgent care, but not a full-blown emergency room. They might not have trauma certification status. Many hospitals are closing their labor and delivery units. They may not have a NICU, neonatal intensive care, and various specialties are leaving out of the acute care. So hence you're going to be looking at, for a lot of people, from the patient perspective, having to travel quite far to perhaps, specialty hospitals or university hospitals where these services are more likely to be offered, and to find a staff that has the knowledge and expertise to manage the various types of patient conditions that people are being admitted with, or for. And so I think all around there's a lot of change going on, because now, in addition to the challenges on the workforce, and the implementation of more AI as a tool to enhance practice and patient outcomes, I think there's a significant evolution happening right now where nurses are in a situation where, we've really got to come to terms with where we are and essentially what we want, because there's still significantly more nurses within the healthcare industry than any other role that is. I'm pretty sure we outnumber therapists, we outnumber physicians. And so it seems like the power that we should have, for whatever reason, is not as impactful as it should be, let's say. And perhaps that could be because, my theory, and this is just from experience, so actually it's more of an opinion, so I'll just leave it at that, right? It's because nursing is so fragmented within itself, right? And for those of us that have been at the bedside and to the boardroom and back, whether by choice or out of necessity, if that was a journey for you, then I would say that there have been significant changes. And aside from the technology and the AI and even the greater risk, let's just say, to health and safety, because believe it or not, you're hearing more often than in the past, incidences of workplace violence and active shooting incidents in healthcare facilities than decades before. And for whatever the reasons are behind those instances, again, nurses are caught in the realm of that. And when you look at all of the things that do impact nurses, we need to ask ourselves, like, what is it do we really want? How can we galvanize and concentrate and allow the power that we have to actually be utilized in an effective way that's really going to be supportive not only to the nursing workforce, but to the populations that we serve. Because let's face it, we're here to serve. This is a service role, and I've said this before. Even if you work for yourself as a nurse, as an entrepreneur, you're still providing a service. So whether you call yourself a boss babe, a babe boss, another type of boss bee or whatever, you feel empowered, you feel independent, autonomous, financially independent, whatever you want to call it, you're still in a service-oriented capacity, okay? We're here to provide a service in whatever realm we find ourselves in whatever environment we're in, whether we're working for an organization or we're working for ourselves, is service-oriented. And so it's not only our own well-being that we're concerned with, it's the well-being of the people that we serve. Okay? And so there has to be a focus on that. How do we cultivate that with our own care and the care of the populations we serve being a singular goal? And I have no doubts that it can be, but I think that for many of us as nurses, we need to be more authentic about what it is we're here to do, okay? And what I say by saying that, what I mean is, are we coming into nursing, as some have said, and made the focal point of their platform to see how much money they can make or to see how high they can rise up in the ranks or to determine the size of their C-suite or how many people they can control or how many degrees they can get or how many certifications they can obtain? Because at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, after you've said all and done all again, who does it serve? What does it serve? And who benefits from it, from having achieved all that? On a personal note, it can make you feel good. I know I feel good when I've gotten certifications or, taken on leadership roles in my capacity as a nurse. And it feels good for the moment. But at the end of the day, I always go back, okay, now I have this. So what am I doing with it? How does it help? Who does it help? Is it just for a financial boost for my own compensation, or is there some usefulness for what I'm doing here? And sometimes I even base my decision on that. I might do something that I like, that I find interested in. And at the end of the day, I may just say, this no longer serves a purpose on my path. So I may not continue to pursue it. And I don't know if any of you ever find yourself in that situation where you've made a decision to do something and then, it works for a while. And then after a while, it's like, oh, I think I'm pretty much done with that. Maybe I can move on to something else. But at the end of the day, you still wind up coming back to, who does it serve? How does it serve? And again, as nurses, we got to really look at, how does what we're doing serve not only our good, but the greater good? And are we being true and authentic to ourselves? Is it more important to achieve a entrepreneurial success as an individual where certain things appear to be more independent and seems to be more in line with the trend, societal trends of being your own boss? Is that more prestigious than doing something else? Let's say working with an organization, partnering with an organization, or being employed somewhere where the impact and the gifts and talents and experience that is brought into that environment has an even greater impact, even if your paycheck has a health system name on it or a corporate entity's name on it. Like, at the end of the day, we really have to decide. It's great to have personal goals and ambitions and achieve them and do wonderful things and things that have meaning in our own individual lives. But then we have to ask ourselves, well, why are we doing this? Who does it serve? And so that's basically the question I want to leave you all with today. Who does it serve what you're doing, and for how long you choose to do it? So, and being at the bedside. Now, let me get back to that, because that's initially where I was planning to go with this conversation today, was from the bedside, I said, to the boardroom and back, right? So for my personal journey, I did start out as a bedside nurse, and I would have to say I really enjoyed it. Now, I won't say every environment was easy to work in, and not all the coworkers were easy to work with. And so I really learned a lot about personal interaction and emotional intelligence in many of these environments that I found myself in. And those times were great, challenging, but great nevertheless. And getting into the more corporate aspect, leadership roles that I've had, same thing, it was a learning experience. And although it represented what I would consider an aspect of growth in my career, it definitely didn't, I say, materialize as what I thought it would. The kind of power and authority that I thought I would have had, it didn't really manifest that way, because it didn't really position me to be as creative in terms of improvement in many areas in the healthcare system, because a lot of what winds up happening in these healthcare systems is that you're basically following policy, procedure, and pretty much going along with the flow, right? So then you find yourself not just I should say having less utilization of your clinical knowledge and skills, and more of your interpersonal skills, your ability to analyze information and to engage in strategic planning and things of that nature, right? Is more appropriate utilization of resources, things of that nature, and working more as part of a team. But also coming to the realization that although we're mighty and we're big in numbers, we're not as strong in the corporate environment as would be expected. And again, you have to be in there to know it, right? Because I've worked side by side, with nursing directors at different levels, even up to the chief nurse office level. And what I come to realize is that they're at the mercy of the hospital CEO, right? It's like, as the saying goes, he who holds the golden rule is he who holds the gold makes the rules. And so even with nursing, as large a workforce as it is in most organizations, the CNO is not the one making the rules. And so, and not only that, the CNO is out there trying to, protect their own back and keep their self in their position. And many of them are not going out on their limb to necessarily do anything, quote unquote, for the nursing staff, right? So there could be situations where nurses find themselves being sacrificed, and it looking like, the CNO is nowhere to be found, right? So these titles took on a different meaning, other than what I had even expected that they were. So for me, it was like a really rude and abrupt awakening when I was like, oh, so that's what it means to be a CNO? Like, it's just a title. You don't really have any real power here. Like, you can't make a difference. Like, where's the education? Where's the training? Where's the staffing improvements? Where is the support staff? Where is the implementation of improved policies and procedures and guidelines and things of that nature that was supposed to be helping that make things easier for the bedside nurse? I don't know. And so now that's not to say that great things are not happening in many places, because I'm pretty sure there are some places where CNOs have a lot of power, a lot of control, a lot of influence, and the ability to get things done. But what I am saying is that I have not encountered that in places that I have worked. But I will say that at the bedside level, there are some pretty awesome nurses out there that are doing their thing. They show up every day. They know what they're doing. They know what they're about. They respect the patients and the families. They're very professional, and most of all, they care. They listen, and they respond appropriately. So I want to thank those of you who are out there today. I'm not even waiting until Nurses Week or Nurses Month. This is February. That's in May. I'm giving my thanks and my flowers to those nurses that are out there doing the damn thing, day in and day out, night in and night out, 24/7 at the bedside, holding it down. And yes, AI will not replace you. And in the words of Kendrick Lamar, they not like us. So if you're at the bedside and you love what you do, thumbs up to you. Give a shout. Put something in the comments. Let us know you're here. And I will definitely be responding to you because I know I appreciate the fact that you chose to be where you are. And no matter what, you know your purpose. And you're giving it everything you got every day. I just want to remind you that when things get tough, take your time off, right? Don't wait, for yourself to be feeling on the verge of burnout just to take a vacation. Even if you don't get the opportunity to go anywhere, just enjoy your time at home, enjoy your time with your family and friends or your pet. Take your walks, go to the beach, have a nice salad in a restaurant you never ate at before, get a massage, okay? Follow up on your doctor's appointments, get your checkups, get your hair done, get a facial, take some naps throughout the day, read a book, or binge watch, right? Sit down and create that, whatever it was you wanted to create. Write a poem, write a song, take a lesson in something you always wanted to learn, enroll in a course. Have fun. Enjoy your life. Make time for yourself. And do it now. Don't put it off any longer. You are the best and you deserve the best. And I thank you for showing up at the bedside or in the boardroom and back. Until next time, this is Tonya with Nurses Speak. See ya.